things that are happening when it comes to this business. And the reason why is because we've not just been building in the local marketplace, but we've been also going global. That's what's so unbelievable about the Ion business. And we've actually just had our biggest day. I just got some of the reports right here, and we have broken a new master. So that's unbelievable. I got that from Eric Caprisi and Banny Holcomb, another master, and more people are coming on board every single day. And that's how you know we're creating a lot of incredible momentum out there. And so I really appreciate you all coming on every week. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to build a massive business when it comes to Ion. And the thing is about these weekly trainings, it's essentially not just for you, it's also for your organization. It's also to build self-development, leadership development, personal development based on the experience of people who built massive organizations. And we're not just people who are teaching, we are people who are actually in the field just like you and building a large organization. And we can show you different things and how to optimize the time that you have with Ion. So that way you can build with urgency and reckless abandon and basically look for people who have a burning desire, a willingness to work, and are coachable. It's incredible to me that I can be here in the Philippines building a business. I'm from the United States. I'm from Los Angeles, for those who haven't met me before. And to be able to build a business now anywhere with technology, but still with an organization that believes on the ground culture and believes in building from the bottom and traveling to different places. And as you've seen from Eric and Banny's posts, they've always said, hey, you know, we're going to go to your city. Once you have a local marketplace there, if you have a group of 20 or 30, they're going to come to your areas. And I'm willing to do the same thing too. And so the power of this weekly training is so that way you can do two simple things. You can be a promoter and an inviter. So if you're new to this business, really don't overcomplicate it. In fact, 80% of the training is done in the way you enroll people into the Ion business. And what do I mean by that? The more complicated you make something. This is why the company has been designed from the beginning. Something super simple that people can get on a three-way call and say that their leader's not available, that they have to explain, maybe say a little bit about the business and be able to do that. Now, if we had to tell you there's 38 ways of getting paid, there's all these knickknacks and all these and so on and so forth, it feels like you have to master an entire process, an entire business in order to make money and in order to build a global organization. And I can tell you right now, that's not true. Ion was started with a dream of simplicity, of products which were the same price or cheaper than Amazon. And that's creating a disruption. What do I mean by disruption is that a lot of people use that word. However, when it comes to disruption, you need to actually be able to say it and not just be able to say it, but have no action with it. Meaning that how are we a disruption? It's simple. For those of you who are just getting started, I hope you're excited because you have the first company and no other company will be able to touch what we do. Why is that? It's because you need to have one, management. If the management is not that good or has an ego or has a point in time where they're unreachable and so on and so forth, then you're going to have a lot of difficulties. Why? Because from the compensation plan to the way the products are put out there, to the communication of the field, to a leadership in the field, it starts with management. Because I was posed that question a long time ago, and they said, hey, what's the most important thing when it comes to a business? Is it the compensation? Is it the marketing? Is it all this other stuff? They said, no. Number one thing, and this is coming from someone who's made hundreds of millions of dollars in direct sales, is management. Because if the management isn't in line with the affiliate base, well, then guess what? Then if they're not in line, then you're going to not have the same kind of trust and honesty and the ability to build with reckless abandon when it comes to this business. And I've known Eric and Banny for over 10, maybe 15, I think about 15 years. And I've known them to be people who are always on the field, always on it, always sending messages out, there to serve. But part of that servant leadership is also you. So if you've been a part of Ion or you're just getting started with Ion, you have some responsibility too. If you need some help, you need to reach out to me, the Chief Marketing Officer, or Banny, the Vice President, or to Eric Caprese, or to the different people who are involved in this. So that way we can help you, because sometimes we're all building out this organization. As you can tell, I constantly try to make it a goal to bring on board a new affiliate every single week. And as we do the follow-ups, especially with the new $99 package and with all the things that are going on, we make sure that that's consistent. And that is the theme of the training for this week, how to build a massive business with Ion. And when we start with that, knowing that the management is sound, knowing that you have a compensation plan. For those who don't understand the compensation plan too much, it's okay. It's super simple, but it pays out more than any other direct sales company out there. People lie. Math does not lie. You have a company that doesn't do points or BV or CV, which is personal volume or commissional volume. We made it simple so that way you can talk to people like real people. You can talk to people. It's not like you have to learn computer programming. You see, one of the CEOs of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, he said that the future of computer programming is just simple human language. We did the same thing. Ion is simple human language. Essentially, can you maintain 2 products a month? Can you go out there and talk about our products and we have a set dollar amount? It's so simple to understand that essentially all you need to do is once again become a promoter inviter. If the management has done something incredible, if they create a system so that way you can duplicate and so you can build local and go global, that's what's so amazing about Ion, is that as long as you keep the main thing the main thing. One of our mentors, his name was Jeff. He built an income of over $100 million in a company that a lot of people started with, and he's still with that company. He said, don't look for a new training. Don't look for a new presentation. Look for a new audience. And what does that mean? Essentially, if you follow a duplicatable system, you're good to go. And in beginning this business, you have to understand one thing is that you have to act as if you're the only person in your organization for the next 6 months to a year, even if you're promoting master affiliates, even if you're doing these kind of things. I talk with a lot of company owners and I mentor different company owners, not in just direct sales, but I'm talking about traditional businesses, whether it comes from clothing or pageants. Most I'm involved in the Miss Universe pageant and the franchises and those kind of things, especially with some of y'all, and they've intermingled with Ion, which is unbelievable. But a lot of people get things mixed up. When Howard Schultz first started with Starbucks, he was a salesperson. And not in the way you think, not a pushy, hardcore salesperson. He was just simply out there doing the business. When Bill Gates, regardless of what you think about Bill Gates, when he was out there pushing Microsoft, he had to go out there and get the word out. He had to essentially leave no stone unturned. And so why do we think, and I think this is where a lot of people, because we have now TikTok and Instagram and all of that, but the algorithms are completely screwed up right now. So a lot of people aren't seeing the stuff anymore. People think that the marketing comes first. Marketing is a big part of it, but really, if you want guaranteed results, sales come first. And I don't mean sales in the way where you have to learn all these incredible, unbelievable techniques. No, just be yourself. It's the same way that you sell someone on a good food spot. Have you ever been so insistent? Or have you ever tried to sell people on coming to your birthday? There's one thing. Say, hey, you gotta go. You'd remind them an hour before, hey, I hope to see you at my birthday. And have you ever been to an event where you were 50-50 in going, you're kind of more, I don't know if I want to go, I'm kind of tired, it's getting kind of late, and so on and so forth. But when that person called you and said, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, it pushed you up to 90% chance that you're going. That's the same way that you got to look at Ion, is that people ask, Nate, how are you sponsoring a new person every week, even, doing the dailies? It's because I am always and constantly doing it with a sense of urgency. I'm consistent and I make sure that I get the proper information in a short period of time. So I've worked with some people this week. For example, Alvin Lohr, unbelievable, unbelievable. He just talked to one of his friends from church, and when people say, oh, can we talk tomorrow, a few days later, I say, well, when's the soonest we can talk? Because I know that the system is there for me. All I do is I share the video, and then I'll do even with what I do, a 3-way call, or I will simply talk to them and be a real human being and get to know them. I found out that one of the guys he was talking to is in direct sales. He is a CNA. He's a certified nursing assistant. He loves health, but he knows it's a little bit difficult. And that's where a lot of affiliate people have some difficulty. And when they got on the phone with me, they went from not being very interested to suddenly saying, you know what, this sounds good. Really? It would be better if I had a company with free shipping. It would be better if I had companies where I don't have the objective of, hey, it's 2, 3 times more than Amazon. It would be better if we had all these, man, $99 and it's a flat fee. I have never heard about that before. You see, the first step is getting them connected. And once you get them connected with what Ion is, they simply need a real voice. This is where the three-way calls come in. They need a real voice to really hammer it through, because you have an incredible testimonial, many of you. And many of you from the previous trainings are promoting it. I see you in the Facebook group. Now you're starting to comment and things like that. That's how you build an incredible culture and foundation, is because what makes us different than others out there? And I always say, what makes one pastor have 50 parishioners and another pastor have 50,000 parishioners if it's the same Bible? And it's not in a religious connotation. The one thing that's consistent is the culture. If you have other competition out there, if you have other companies out there, what makes you different? And not only what makes you different, what makes it so that your brand stands out? And you might be saying, well, Nate, what if there's a cheaper product? What if there might be a product that might be $1 or $2 cheap. Who knows? There might be things like out there. But once you build a culture is unbreakable. What do I mean by that? You need to have culture and branding on point. And we are a cool brand. That's the thing. You got some of the co-founders over in Miami. I'm out here in the most cosmopolitan city in Southeast Asia. It's fun, but we work really, really hard. We mix that with working hard. So how do we mix culture with a brand? Now, let's put it this way. If I was in the middle of Podunk nowhere and I was going down a dusty highway, and on the left side, it says World's Best Burgers. On the right side, it says McDonald's or Starbucks. The average person, quite frankly, will go to the McDonald's and Starbucks. Why? Because once they've gone there once and they're used to going there, they will continue to go there. How do I prove that? What if you had a Starbucks coffee and then you had another coffee shop across the street? Now, the coffee shop across the street, their coffee is maybe $1. It's like McDonald's prices from 10 years ago. And then the Starbucks coffee is $2 to $3 for black coffee. I will bet that more people will go to the Starbucks because of the branding and culture that they've built. Logically, does it make sense? No, but once they're used to it, they're used to it. Same thing with Ion. Once they're in the Ion culture, how can they do anything else out there? Because they'll always be thinking, man, why would I leave free shipping? Why would I leave a fun culture? Why would I go to another company where they charge you shipping and taxes and all these other things, where Ion's got it all figured out and they continue to grow. They're continuing to have their best days ever. They're continuing to have more and more people just like you who are plugging in. And so what at its core are we doing here is that we are simply, your first year, act as if you're the only person in your organization. And actually, I have a 4-page sheet. I'm going to put it into the Facebook group. So if you're not on the Facebook group, get on there, and you're going to see it after this training, where you'll have the local United States version, you'll have the global version, and then you'll have 2 pages of training. And that's all you really need. If you can get good at promoting this weekly training and then staying in communication with us, with Banny, with Eric, with myself, that way we know what to promote. If you have a new master, if you have an incredible testimonial, every single week, we want to recognize and acknowledge these people. And that way, all they'll say is, hey, I don't know what's going on. I just know that I'm excited. I'm getting money from global cash flow all over the place. All I know is to invite to this weekly training. And you know what? If you have a lot of people that wants to get onto a training, hey, I'm open throughout the week to do that. This is just our solid core weekly training. And so this is what makes us special. Because have you ever seen a company where they have the so-called best product, but they fail to launch or they fail to get big? Why? Because the best product does not matter if nobody knows about it. That's what it is. The best product doesn't matter if nobody knows about it. That's why, once again, what are you? You're a promoter, you're an inviter. I know people in the US where they have new migrants who are coming to the United States, and they're just getting their residency and things like that, and they join direct sales or affiliate marketing, and they may not speak as much English, but I've seen them build massive organizations. Why? Because all they did is said, I don't know, and they'll just bring people into the meeting, and they just know how to direct people into a meeting. It's the most incredible thing to see that. And really, it's really about us inviting massively into meetings like this, inviting massively to a video. And it's not just the video. So the video would be step one. It takes the logic part out. The second part is a three-way call. It's getting someone, because you might know all the information. I'm sure you do. A lot of you are great at learning these things and retaining knowledge. But isn't there something about another person that they may not know, but they have a high level of edification, respect for, telling them the same things that they saw in the video? And suddenly, I get it. It makes sense, And for example, when I was doing that three-way call with Alvin and a few other people, we have someone like people like Harold Jarrow over at Oxalis, and all these other brands who are starting to come into Ion. I mean, when you do that three-way call, when you do the training, something clicks, because the video, and as affiliate, you're saying, but the video answered all the questions. Why is it with a three-way call, they suddenly get on board? It's the same thing, is that we cannot be detached from the field. Sometimes people are emotional creatures. People are creatures of being social. We were locked down in the US for 2 years, and people are craving to have social interaction, to be around people. And if you can master this system, which is constantly bringing people on board to Ion. Melissa Winters, you had an incredible, I promoted Melissa's, what's it called, the testimonial. And he had people saying, wow, and clapping and saying, that's incredible. All we do is we tell a lot of stories and we repeat the process. When I grew up in the church, growing up in the church, you'll have a lot of, what did we always remember? We always remember the parables. We always remember the stories. We are conditioned from our ancestors to essentially listen to stories. And the more you put stories out there, the more you get people involved in the Facebook community. So when you go in the Facebook community, you got to be liking the posts. You have to be commenting, even a fire emoji, just so people see you participating. Why? Because if you show up for other people, they will show up for you. I'm going to say it again. If you show up for other people, they will show up for you. Never make your minimums your maximums. The more you get things out there, this is how simple we've made the business. This is why I tell people, buy more product. Even if it's not your 2 products a month that you're getting, buy more product. Why? Because one, the product is relatively inexpensive, and two, you want to be sampling the energy. You want to be sampling some of the other products. You want to sample the 15-day cleanse. Someone will get a result with the 15-day cleanse in 24 hours. And when people feel cleaned out, they feel better, they're going to need to replace it with the fruit and veggie caps, the collagen, the greens, the so much other products that we have. And, we'll be rolling those out internationally and later on. However, what I'm trying to say is that this business is so simple. It is incredibly simple. And Richard Branson, a British billionaire, the owner of Virgin, once said it best. He said, any fool can make something complex. It takes a genius to make something simple. And if you ever had some massive success before, sometimes you just had you were just on fire. You didn't know exactly what was going on. All you knew was to bring it into a established culture, bring it and listen to what the leaders did. And then if the products work, you know what, then you've got some magic. However, it's the idea that we sometimes think too much. We get so involved in being busy and not productive. And that's from the book that I realize is from 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Pastor John C. Maxwell. Something you got to ask yourself when you're doing your daily method of operation, meaning that you're building this business and doing these things daily, is you got to ask yourself, am I really doing something productive, or am I just doing something busy? I tell people it doesn't take more than really 90 days to start creating and seeing some cash flow, start seeing going on. This is in any business. It's not just Ion because of the new fourth industrial revolution, because of all the technology that's going on. It doesn't take more than 90 days to start seeing cash flow go out there. And you'll see a lot of the gurus out there start boiling it down. And I see some of these new 20-year-old millionaires over in Miami, and they all say the same thing. Number one is my mindset and getting out of the way, meaning that if you can take care of your mindset, because if you've been in affiliate marketing for a long time, sometimes you get to the point, wouldn't you agree, that you overthink things? You become jaded. You start doing everything except what made you successful in the first place, which is being an extremely excited promoter and inviter. That's it. If you can do that, and I'm reiterating a little bit, why? Because I want you to be able to master and duplicate this system as fast as possible. If you could just promote a great training like this, or if you have a significant group in a local marketplace, we can do a custom training. Whatever it takes to build this thing to the moon, that's what we're going to do. We're going to build on that servant leadership that so many people talk about. If you have a great local marketplace, we want to fly to you, because this business is so simple. Sometimes it's easy to get lazy. I'll say it again. This business is so simple to understand. It's not always easy to build an organization. However, what I'd like to say is that it is super, super simple, that sometimes it's easy to do and easy not to do. I'm going to say it again. Easy to do, easy not to do. Every company out there, a lot of companies, easy to do, easy not to do. And it's our ability to make things simple for people in order to duplicate. When someone comes on board, first thing you do, get to master. Enroll 3, whether it's one-time customers or customer pluses or new affiliates. If you can do that first part, you're succeeding. However, I will say this. Don't let off the gas, because that's what a lot of people do. They let off the gas. Remember this, a leg or an organization. If you're not new to these terms, a leg is simply an affiliate and their organization that stems from that. A leg is not a leg, or an organization is not an organization until you have 3 masters stacked on top of each other. I'll say that again. A leg is not a leg until you have 3 masters stacked on top of each other, meaning that you got 3 leaders who are all in phase 1 and building the business. That's how you can define if something is duplicating. I know it's an interesting thing to say, is that you need to be concentrating on your first level. And that's the same thing with any business. You need to constantly be essentially bringing people on board, but at the same time, making sure that people are becoming master. Why? Because in the very beginning, it's easy to so-called take care of this. If you're leveraging the weekly training, meaning that, are you sending texts an hour before the training? Are you getting people to see it? And so that way it gets to the point where there's 3 masters on top of one another. And yeah, those are the only 2 things you got to do, is constantly bringing people on your first level. Customers, remember that the best raving customers become the best affiliates, because they believe in the product. And everything that you do right now, some of it you'll get instant results. So like, I get it and makes sense. Full-time at my job, school, or small business, part-time at my fortune, perfect. And some people, they need to be added to the community group. They need to see your excitement. How many people are in the community group and may just be customers and they're watching everything? I've seen people come on board 4 weeks later because they see people starting to participate. Why? Because you're commenting on every post. If someone's going to promote to master, I'm one of the first people to post on there and go from there. If you see these kind of things going on, that's the first thing that you want to be able to do. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that people are constantly being promoted into this system. What does a system mean? Save yourself time, energy, and money. So wait, what do you mean by save yourself time, energy, and money? Is that what we teach every single week is to do the same things over and over and over again. Now, that's also the definition of insanity, but here it's not. Why? Because you are plugging them in to a system. You are plugging them into something which will perpetuate growth. If you try to micromanage and do everything yourself, now there's a balance between that. I know, because you got to be out there sponsoring and enrolling people. You got to be out there doing those kind of things, but also you have to put them into a system. Why? Because when people are learning this business passively, maybe sometimes you can't get to the training, but you know what? Your people are now known to be on the training. That's what creates leadership. And everything rises and falls on 2 things: mindset and leadership. I'll say it again. mindset, and leadership. If someone's always telling me, like when I consult for these company owners, they're always like, well, I always did the bare minimum. No wonder your company is failing because you keep telling me, oh, bare minimum. Oh, I need to do this. You've basically talked about everything except building your company, meaning that you don't have a company or you don't have an organization. And you're treating, if you treat this business casually, you can become a casualty. And what I mean by casually is that if you want it to be a big business, but you're treating it super casual, you're not going to the trainings, you're not plugging in, you're not supporting other people, you're not liking posts, you're not commenting on posts and doing those kind of things. Well, that's why you're having a difficult time. If people know you as the person who's always supporting, you're always, guess what? When your people come in, they're going to go with reckless abandon and start commenting. Have you ever look at the Facebook effect? Have you ever been on Facebook and you start liking or loving, actually, if you do a love, not just a like, but love people's posts over and over and over again, right? You love it. Suddenly they start looking at your stories. Suddenly they start loving your posts too. Why? Because they start seeing that you're participating in their life, and the right people, they're going to want to participate in yours. Now, if they don't participate, then you can start leveling off, and maybe it's just a connection you see passively. But sometimes you got to participate in other people's lives in order for them to come back to yours and participate in yours as well. And that's the same thing with building an organization. And I also understand this. When it comes to trainings like this, you might not get 100% of the information the first time, but I promise that I repeat a lot of the information because I knew, and when my mentor taught me this, they said, it's not about you, it's about your people seeing you show up. And it's about your people seeing that you're just as excited as day one. And when they see that, your business explodes and the culture gets bigger. And I have it actually, everything I train is in this picture or this PDF that I will share to the group afterwards. And so it'll show a blueprint of everything that you need to do. What's the one thing that is different though every week? What has to be different every week? It's pretty simple. This is the thing that has to be different every single week. It's learning leadership and mindset. Why? Because if you've ever listened to a success story in business, doesn't that fire you up? If you're not plugging into success stories, if you're not doing self-development and mindset development, and I feel like a lot of people have forgotten this in affiliate marketing and direct sales, is that we've stopped listening to the greats like Jim Rohn and Les Brown and Zig Ziglar and the ones that really helped us focus our mindset. Why? Because one idea that you listen to, maybe it's only 5 to 10 minutes, one idea that you do, guess what happens? It might motivate you to do one more call. Now, what if your entire organization, if you have a group of 100 who's doing one more call a month, what if that leads to that explosion? Because you only have to be right once. Not kidding. Once you're a master, you have those infinity bonuses, and the infinity is incredible. That's $2 minimum per product, not counting the Unilevel, not counting some of the fast starts and all these other things. $2 per product is incredible. I mean, you have these old school companies that don't exist anymore. If you remember these, some of you have been around for a while, like the Tahitian Nonis, where they'll pay 2 to 3% for every 100 points. Yeah, that's the same as the top level of some of these companies from back in the 2000s. And you know what? They were limited to about 6 levels. And you were cut off very quickly unless you're buying massive amounts of product. And remember, when it came to that $100 worth of product, that's for those $2 to $4. That's $100. Here, that's $40 worth of product. That's actually, yeah, 25, 23 to maybe $46 worth of product. And in other companies, it'll take $100 to $150. Why do I say up to $150? Because not every company is dollar for dollar. Is that correct? Here, we give you a real dollar amount. You can't, there's no hiding. The point system in these companies are meant to hide commissions from you. That's why they say there's 36 ways to pay. Because if you have a margin, you can't actually pay, yeah, you can pay 36 ways, but it's just dividing up the dollar into smaller points. Yeah, here's 5 cents into a car bonus. Just give me the entire dollar, guys. And that's what Ion has done for you. It's such a revolution. And that's why we're super excited. Why? Because when people just see it, even if they say no, it's going to mess with them. Because then every company or affiliate company they see from now, they'll always be comparing it to Ion. Oh, yeah, that's a great company, but Free shipping. There's free shipping at Ion. Oh, that's a great company. But your greens are $70, $60, $70. Ion's in the 30s. Your cleanse, 50, $60. Oh, but Ion's only $23.99. And guess what? That $23.99 cleanse for affiliates pays the same or higher than $100 to $150 auto ship at another company. That's not even counting shipping. Shipping can add another $10, $20. And this is why people are getting so frustrated, is that the costs have gone higher, inflation's going higher, people's incomes haven't gone up. And here you have the first company, really the disruptive company, that has been able to successfully lower the cost of the product to the real marketplace. I don't even try to compete with direct sales companies. Why? Because I know what we have here. What we're doing is that we're dealing with the real marketplace. And once you do that, you learn to brand, go out there with reckless abandon. When people are used to your brand, you have a residual income, an income that pays you for doing something once for the rest of your life. That's incredible. That is epic. That is unbelievable. Why? Because you have no competition. Where's the competition? It's all in your mindset. That's really what it is. Because you now took away the price objection. $99? Heck, even when I approach people, I tell them it's $99. You know, with other companies, I'd have to think about it first. $99, 3 products, free shipping, quality leadership, quality products, a system they can just plug into with documented leaders. That's why you should get excited, y'all, is because once you have the right people coming on board, you know, at $99, think about it, $99. And then for the 2 products, you're getting paid at master to, a minimum of $4 per product. And you know, people aren't just buying 2 products. When they get into a brand, they love buying on. I've seen people buy 5 products monthly. And even at master, what is that? 2 times 5, $10. That's the equivalent. I'm going to make y'all think a little. That's the equivalent of a 10%. Okay, that's the equivalent of 10% in other companies for much less and much more value. You might be getting 1 or 2 products. I've seen some vitamins for $100 to $140 for a 30-day supply of vitamins, and they're only paying about 5%. Isn't that crazy? Well, we've done it for so long with some success. I know in the past, if you've done these type of businesses before, some of you have done $100, $200, $300, $400,000 worth of volume, and now you can do that with a fraction of the volume. See, we figured it out. They said it couldn't be done. You know, some of the biggest in network marketing, traditional network marketing trainers said, you know what? The next revolution is to lower commissions so you have a higher quality product and a lower price. Okay, so that's their next thing. And then some companies have been doing that. And I've seen that happen. Ion figured out a way through the compensation, through the way we've designed this company, through the processes that we did. We found a way where we don't have to do that, where you can have your cake and eat it too. And once again, I tell people, sometimes this company is so simple, it makes us too relaxed. Doesn't it? Don't you feel at home in Ion, realizing, hey, you know, it's a low monthly maintenance or subscription. It's all everything. Ion has figured it all out, that sometimes we don't have the same urgency that we really need to. And I will say to you that I'm with urgency. Have you noticed I'm personally bringing in a new person every single week? Why? Because I believe in what we're doing. When you know what you know about this company, this opportunity, these products, the testimonials that are coming out all the time, it is no longer an opportunity, it's a responsibility. And when you have that so sold in your heart and so sold in your mind, that this will become a billion-dollar concept, that when people try to figure out Ion, they're not going to be able to. Why? Because they're not going to do what we do. They're not going to be out in the field like we do, really, to figure out our processes. They'll always be just a little bit less. And that's okay. Let them do what they have to do, because Ion will become the platinum standard. In fact, Ion is the platinum standard. It's the diamond standard. It's the standard that to beat all standards, because you will never be able to see, once you understand this company, you'll never be able to see another company in the same way again. Anyone who tries to go to another company or do things like that, I say, God bless them. Do what they want to do, but it'll never be the same. You'll always be thinking about the free shipping. You'll always be thinking, and you know what? People like that, they never think about their people. The mailman who just does this casually, the grandma that you see at church that just wants some few products to share with their friends and family. They don't think about those people. Those people are saying, "Oh, like I'm not a salesperson. I like that it's a Amazon style concept. I like that I only need to maintain 2 products a month and I can do more if I want to." That's why people love Ion. It's truly a company for the people, but we don't skip out on commissions. We, in fact, are paying more for commissions. And where does this all come down to? It comes down to one word: ecosystem. We built an incredible ecosystem that took us a few months to figure out and solidify and build the systems for y'all. And that's what's so incredible about the Ion system. And so so I've been getting a lot of texts from leaders that are in here. And so what I want to say is this: if I haven't met you yet, add me as a friend on Facebook. I want to get to know you. Manny wants to get to know you. Eric wants to get to know you. They want to love on you. Some Eric, I see them wanting it more for people than they want it for themselves. How can we help you? 2 in the morning, I get texts and calls from Manny and Eric. What can we do to make this company better? I have never had this. Some of you may know I was a vice president with a direct sales company before. It was always a slog to deal with stuff because I was always a field person. Imagine that you got a management that's 3 field people that knows what you're doing, but at the same time knows how to run a company. That's rare because you can get field people, but they don't know how to run a company. They're just thinking about the money. That's all they think about. But they mess up on systems. Or you can have a corporate. I was in a corporate situation before, and they'll say, "Nate, why are you texting me at 2 in the morning? This is not office hours." I'm like, "Office hours? What are you talking about office hours? There's people in other places of the country that are just waking up, and they need to know these answers now." That's what I love with Eric and Danny. When we message each other 2, 3 in the morning, you know what? We're just like, "Wow, yeah, let's try to integrate that. Let's try to make this process a little smoother. Oh, we have a problem. Let's get on it right now with urgency." Man, I have never, ever worked with leaders like that in the past. There was always some corporate person or always someone else or something like that. I remember walking into a company, and this is not to talk bad. Remember, we don't want to talk bad about other companies. This is just shining because some of you might have the same issues as well. You've had these same experiences, and I just want to tell you, you're not going to experience it here. I remember walking into a meeting. I've never been with this company, and I was sitting in the board meeting, and they sat there like, "Well, what can you do for us? Because we can do all the things that you're talking about, and we want to." And I said, "Look, I said, you guys, please stop that arrogance. And if that's the arrogance that you're going to teach when we have new people here, I don't want anything to do with your company, because you never asked us any questions. You never asked us anything of what we actually want to do and things like that. And they came in almost with a negative mindset. And I said, no wonder your company is dying and why you need us here." And I got so frustrated with so many companies and their jadedness. I think that's the best thing to say. A lot of companies are jaded, or they start new companies just to try to cash out. And I really detest these companies that are cash out companies. What do I mean by cash out companies? They do these terrible plans like matrix plans. You don't need to be a comp plan expert. I'm just telling you what I've seen. There's companies like matrices. Anything that you see matrix is usually a scam. That's a scam. The product is an excuse to launder money among friends. That's literally what a matrix is, because no one has ever been successful in a matrix, a pure matrix company. It's basically a way to fleece the people, get people as much money out of their pockets as possible, then shut down or sell the company a year or two later. Those are the kind of companies you want to avoid. We designed a company that maximizes your profits, maximizes your quality, maximizes everything, so that way you can live a good life. I want you to live a good life. And how are you going to live a good life? With Ion. Because we made the perfect company for you, that as best as possible. You will never, ever find another. I guarantee you get me on the line. I don't mind. Put me on a 3-way call with anyone else out there. I will logically, but also emotionally state our case for for Ion. And that's what's going to help y'all become masters, the next icons, the next legends, the next pinnacles. And I'm excited to meet you. As you can tell, I genuinely like people, and I genuinely want you to succeed. Don't ever feel like any of us are unreachable. Add me on Facebook. If just by the way, I see some of y'all are following me on Facebook. The Facebook settings are a little bit different now. Go to, I think there's another setting where you click on it, like click on more. You can add me as a friend. I would love to have you as a friend. I don't mind if all my friends on Facebook are all Ion people. I mean, that makes me happy. Why? Because I want you to feel like someone like me is reachable, that I'll do three-way calls with you, that I'm willing to wake up. Why? Because I'm fired up for what we're going to build $1 billion company here. The infrastructure is sound. The products are sound. Everything here is sound for $1 billion infrastructure. Now all we have to do is just tell the world. I'm doing more of a, not really the technique right now, because there's a lot of new people who are coming on board right now. I just want you to be fired up. I want you to be fired up because I'm getting slammed with texts right now and people asking about this kind of trainings and things like that. And I will say this, if you've ever been frustrated with direct sales or affiliate marketing, I know I have been too. There was times where I thought that I was done with it. I didn't want to do it again because everything is the same. It was the same thing, same people, same hush hush things behind the scenes. And there wasn't really a company that really didn't have a agenda of just serving the management team. And everyone said that they were for the people, but the compensation plan to do it. And sometimes it's out of ignorance. They think it's a company that is but all the comp plans, they're all the same now. All these things, they're all the same. But I can do with a logical, simple way of saying, this is why you pay out more than every other company out there when it comes to products. This is why we have the free shipping. This is why we do all these things. This is why we're becoming so successful. And you know what's the biggest reason why we're successful? It's you. You are the magic sauce. You are the secret sauce. If you grow you, then guess what? The bigger your organization will grow. It's all about mindset. It's all about being able to plug into this. This is about a 45-minute training. I want to just tell you that by sticking to the very end, you are a leader. You're not a leader because you've hit master or icon, which is all good because it's more money, right? Your checks are going higher and higher. However, you are a leader when you decide to be a leader. You are a leader when you step up. Just because I'm CMO, well, whatever. And I mean that in all good ways. I appreciate Benny and Eric for making me CMO. However, you respect us because we do what we say we're going to do. We are reachable people. We are people who work, and you're like, Nate, why are you guys so passionate about this? Because you know why? I've met some of my best friends. I've had some of my best business investments because I've met someone in a direct sales organization. I've seen so many people. Once you get to a certain point in income, you really want to give back. And a lot of people throw that around. They throw that around. But really, I see how self-development. I am a raving fan of 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I love seeing people create leadership. I love people becoming a completely different person than they were a month or 3 months ago. And you know what? It always comes back. Every opportunity, not even in just Ion, every opportunity I've ever had, because I built an organization, an affiliate organization, has come from that affiliate organization. Nate, there's this thing here. Nate, there's that. Oh, Nate, we want you to be a speaker here. It has sustained me. And this is why I've never had a 9-to-5 job in my life. It's because learning servant leadership and adding value to an organization, it comes back to you. I'm telling you right now. And if something hasn't been working, then don't do it. You got to be with the people who are actually doing something. And I will say when it comes to the compensation, if you need more of an in-depth or on paper, I will post it right after this call. And I will say, you can tell a lot about a company by its compensation plan. Either it's understanding about it, or for example, the fast start bonus. This is a little quick note because I want you to see how much attention to detail did. It's not just $25. It's $25 plus all the little commissions you're getting, the unilevel, or the 2-level affiliate plan, the coded. I mean, at Icon, you're making, I believe, about $40 every 99 that comes in. Think about that. It's a dynamic fast start. It keeps growing. Any other company, it's just the same static. But no, we added those commissions for you. Why is that important? Why are those extra few dollars important? Because that means a company said, we can just pay a $25 fast start. But because we love these people, we want them to get as much value as possible. We want to add as much on that front end and reward them for bringing people in. So let's add those commissions in there. Let's not just make it a fast start. Let's add all these other things in there. And so even at a master, it's in the 30s. It's not just 25. You're at the 30, you're in the 30 level. You know, you're making about, I think, $34 at master. You may not even notice it because you've been so excited enrolling people. But why does that matter? It's not about the $34. It's that the management thought enough of you to make it so it's not just $25 statically across the field. They made it because they care about you to add those commissions in there. And you know, the difference sometimes from $25 to $34, that might make a world of a difference for people. And since straight 99, there's no shipping costs, none of that stuff. This is why I'm proud to be Ion. I wear it every day. I don't feel weird. This is the old school shirt. This is the Ion classic shirt. You know, it's not the cool one like that, but I have some new ones coming out and I can't wait. And if you want some shirts, if we don't have it online, guess what? Get to your print shop. We'll get the graphics to you. We want you to be wearing Ion. You know, when I was building some of these big brands, people were like, Nate, you're wearing the same shirt every single day. Yeah, because I'm proud of what I do, because I want to know how excited I am about the Ion brand. And if I'm excited about the Ion brand, when enough people know about it through sales, through me personally enrolling people, then the organization and marketing take over. You gotta be a promoter for the first 6 months to a year, as big as possible, in order to be paid for the rest of your life. I want to leave you with this thought, because I keep posting it and you see it, me posting it. I want you to leave you with this thought. Imagine getting deposits every single day, every single hour, every single minute from 24 plus countries around the world, from products that people just love. And it's not just from maintenance, it's from one-time customers, just because they love Ion. That's what happens when you're the Amazon. Imagine that. What if you were now the Amazon? Imagine every single minute someone's buying a product. Why? Because the price makes sense, the quality makes sense, and you've been a raving fan, and now there's a network of raving fans. You want people not just saying, oh, I'm gonna get on Amazon. Imagine one day people are saying, oh, let's get on Ion, get some more supplements. Oh, son, I need those Ion supplements. Oh, you know those supplements that you're getting? I want some of those Ion. Oh, only Ion. I only trust Ion. Let's get more Ion. That's the beginning of what we have here. No one can compete with us. Put me on a three-way call with anybody, I will logically show them why they can't compete with us. And you know, it's all about serving you and growing you. So the more that you get people onto this weekly calls, the more fired up they're going to get. And even if you see some of the repeat stuff, it's not about the repeat stuff. It's about your new people. And it's about your new people seeing that you're excited about it. All we're asking for is less than an hour a week to train and recognize people. Some of you who haven't been recognized here yet, get that information to me. We will recognize you. And we're always going to recognize you on the Telegram. Get to the Telegram if you can. If you're on the Facebook group, add all the people. And all the people who just want to support, even the customers, add them to the Facebook group, because they're going to see a lot of great testimonials on there. It's about building that culture. And when they leave, they leave. You know, when they're gone from it, they're gone from it. But if they stay on, guess what? You're going to have so many people doing it. Oh man, I'm getting so many messages, so many things here. People saying, I want to do more Ion. I want to get more Ion. And that's what I love, is that, have you noticed that we've been smiling the entire time? We're happy. And I want to say this, and I know I'm saying I'm closing, but I really am going to say closing from now. How come no one's ever asking if you're happy? In any direct sales company, I mean, when I do the Miss Universe pageant or any other organization, nobody ever asks the girls, hey, are you guys happy? I'm just asking you now, are you happy? I mean, we built a company here so that way it takes care of you. This is your company dream come true. I know you've done it if you've been in direct sales before. You've always wanted a company with free shipping that can compete with Amazon, that had leaders who are fun and know culture and want to go out there with reckless abandon and be out there with you guys, that also understood you, that also said, you know, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to go through a mental roller coaster. Nobody's really asking if you're happy or not. They're just saying, keep on developing, which is true, keep developing. But I want you to know that we understand you, that when you're having lows, that this Zoom will be here for you, that we're always going to say, you know, we understand that life happens. And just know that Ion is the brand that really cares about people and cares about your happiness. This is why we constantly get better and better and better every single week. And you can say, you cannot fake this kind of passion. You cannot fake a devotee to a brand, because a devotee to a brand is because a lot of times it's either out of fear or it's because the brand earned the trust of the people. And that's who we are. With that, I just want to say thank you all. We have a lot of great master promotions. So look at the Facebook group. I'm going to repeat those master promotions next week on the training in the beginning. You can start to see a little bit more of the other trainings and things like that. And I'd love to start getting some of you as attendees, as a featured people here on the webinar. But we had so many new people come on board. I wanted you to see the passion and the heart of who we are as Infinity One Network, because we're not just doing it there in the United States, we're going global. Now let's go tell the world. Guys, with that, my name is Nate Kalima. I appreciate you all for being on here. You're incredible. Start sending me some messages. You're the best. Thank you. God bless you and your family. Good night.